All right, I will say good morning. Let us begin. We are picking up in Tzidkas HaTzaddik Os Mem Tes. And I will say we are continuing in the incredible teaching of the Rebbe here. So we're picking up in the Bi'oria Chasidus page Kuf Tes Zayin. So remember again, the Rebbe was speaking about the idea that when a person commits an Aveiro with a particular part of their body, so the Rebbe introduced us to this concept that when I struggle with something habitually, that item which I struggle with, or I should say consistently, that item or that particular area in which I constantly struggle, in and of itself, highlights and portrays perhaps my greatest life strength. So by way of introduction, the Rebbe explains, when I commit an Aveira with a particular part of my body, so the goal is to then go ahead and enhance the Kedusha of that part of the body by engaging in mitzvos and ma'asim tovim, good deeds, mitzvahs, with that very part of the body. So we saw yesterday, quoted the Medrash in Vayikra Rabbah, who gave us multiple examples of that concept. But now the Rebbe goes on and he says, Ve'in ha'to'elas bazeh, rak bichdei la'asos ba'oso ever tikun la'avera ha'kodemes, ba'ofen shel mida tova ha'omedes l'tikun, keneged mida harasha. So obviously I will say, with this approach, there's, of course, I will say in general, like theologically, we don't subscribe to an idea that if you do an Aveira, so just do 2 mitzvahs and you'll cancel it out, right? Or do an Aveira, do 1 mitzvah. We do not subscribe to this idea that somehow an Aveira cancels out the mitzvah, a mitzvah cancels out an Aveira, and in the aftermath of sin, all I need to do in order to restore personalistic spiritual equilibrium is to do something of the opposite extreme. So I did an Aveira, the answer is do a mitzvah, balance it out. So the Rebbe says, please don't understand what I'm saying to be a reference to that. What I'm highlighting here, says the Rebbe, is obviously, if I do something wrong, if I damage something, so I will say, the way to look at it is as follows. If I get into a car accident, chas v'shalom, and I damage my door, so then obviously the way to rectify the accident is to fix the door. So therefore, on a basic level, when I perform an Aveira with a particular part of my body, I've dented that part of the body. And because I've dented it, therefore, halacha l'maisa, I have to try to fix the damage. How do I fix the damage? Well, first, on a basic part, is I've used something for negative purposes, begin to repurpose it for something positive. But the Rebbe goes on and he says something amazing. There's something additional here. And this really gets to the essence of what the Rebbe is trying to convey in Os Mem Tes. Aval hu moil gam lahagia bekach l'tikun hayichudi shal nafsho bifrat. Both say these are incredibly profound words. The Rebbe says, when I commit an Aveira with a particular part of my body, and then I begin to go ahead and utilize that part of the body for good, he says, listen to these words, it helps in order to go ahead and achieve the very tikkun, the very purpose, the very rectification of my soul in this world. Sha'al yedei hachet nisvada vehisbarer la'adam be'eze inyan bikdusho kocho gadol yoser. We'll say, listen to these words. When I sin, says Reb Tzaddik, when I sin, it becomes known to me the area where I possess the greatest spiritual strength. When I sin, which I will say, so again, listen to these words. When I sin, so remember again, sin, by definition, is I've just exposed my weakness. Right? When I commit an Aveira, I've just highlighted, here is where I'm weak. Here is where I'm weak. So when I go ahead and I show that weakness, then ultimately, again, that also shows the greatest source of my strength. Then we'll have to see what this means, but just understand the profundity of this. Now what Rav Tzaddik is saying is, when I commit an Aveira, again, Aveiras are bad. We go on record with that, right? Aveiras are not good. We want to avoid Aveiras. But something amazing happens when I sin. What's amazing? I discover something new about myself. Through sin, I discover where my true spiritual, my true holy power and prowess lies. Kikal echan mi Yisrael, listen to this, because every single Jew, nivra l'tikun ezer dever prati. We'll say, why are we put in this world? Why are we put in this world? Ultimately, again, we were put in this world to fix something. To fix something. And again, on a personal level, I was brought into this world because there was something that needed to be fixed in my neshama. Right? Because remember, if there was nothing to be fixed in the neshama, so why bother the neshama with a descent into this world? Just let the neshama remain with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But if the neshama was sent here, says HaTzaddik, it means that I was created to fix something specific. B'shleimus b'yuchedes, asher bo nisyachado nafsho bifrat. Shetchunas nafsho mitztayenes bo biyoser mishar Yisrael. See, Rabbi said, I'm in this world to fix something. Now, this is a profound statement, and this statement has many different ramifications. It could very well be that I was put into this world to fix something in the world. It's possible. But before I even get to that, each of us has a more primary, immediate mission. I was put into this world to fix something inside of myself. And each of us has something distinct and unique to fix. What I have to fix in me is different than what you have to fix in you. And none of us, right, what we have to fix, none of our missions resemble each other. Right? Each of us has to go ahead and fix something specific within ourselves. And again, he says, and remember, we'll say, you see where HaTzaddik is going with this, what it is that I have to fix represents the unique koach that I possess. And the unique koach that I possess is different than the unique koach that you possess. He says, Kimo shelo nimtza shum shnei pirtzufim shnavim, the same way that no two people look exactly alike. Kimo she'amru b'Gemara, v'yesh l'chol echad tzuras ha'pirtzuf hayichudis shalo. Every person has their own visage, right? Their own look, their own face, right? Their own tzura. Baritzuras pirtzuf panamachitzonim romes atzelam elokim apnei midinafesh. And I both say, just like a person has their own unique external appearance, so too we each have our own unique internal spiritual appearance. Shegam hu nimtza b'chol echad ba'ofen miyuchad she'ein la'af adam echad zulachos. So I both say, this piece by HaTzaddik, I think it's just incredibly profound. Because what the Rebbe is truly highlighting to us is as follows. When I struggle with something, so I learn, and again, I will say, we're acknowledging a dynamic. And the dynamic is that although I may struggle with many things, there's usually one or two things specifically that I struggle with. My ongoing struggles, the things that I just can't seem to get the life traction on. Constantly difficult, constantly overwhelming. Says the Rebbe, understand that thing is the very reason I was put here in this world. That struggle is the thing that I have to fix inside of my neshama. I'm here because I have to fix something. How do I know what I have to fix? Generally, it's the very thing which you struggle with most is the thing you were put in this world to fix. How do you fix it? You have a unique koach inside of yourself to fix it. The same way I struggle is the same way I have the ability to rectify. And then I find that koach, to be able to fix that thing with which I struggle, that is the discovery of my greatest life strength. But the amazing part is you only discover your strength because of the weaknesses, right? Without the struggle, without the sin, without the failure, I wouldn't discover what it is that I'm here to accomplish, and I wouldn't discover the true strength I have to be able to fix that which is broken. So it is this incredible insight that Rebbe is giving us that sin, then this is what the Rebbe was saying, that halacha l'maisa, that which I struggle with most, also tells me what my greatest strength is in this world. So we'll have to develop this. So this was I want to point out. So HaTzaddik, this is not his chiddush. We find this already in the writings of the Ari HaKadosh and the Arizal, where the Arizal writes, if you want to know why you're here in this world, look at the thing you struggle with most. That is the reason HaKadosh Baruch Hu put you here. That's your mission. That's your mission. Now I want to point out, it could very well be that in life we have multiple missions, right? But that is one of my primary missions, to rectify the thing that I struggle with most. Because when I do that, I discover the incredible amount of koach I have. We'll just look at the next line. The inyan is page Kuf Yod Zayin. The inyan hatikun hamiyuchad sheyesh lechol echad ve'echad. Who can know that? Actually, I'll say we'll stop over here for today. We'll pick up in Meretz Hashem with this piece tomorrow, but we're going to go on with this. So I'll say, I just want to point out, this is one of these life-altering pieces of Torah, because this, understand, is a dramatic way to look at Chet. Because a lot of times when we sin and when we fail, especially in situations when I'm struggling with something over and over and over, the challenge is that sometimes I just begin to look at myself as a failure. I'm just a failure. Like, how do I not get traction on this thing? I've been dealing with this same Avera for years. And I will say, literally, again, we know it's not an exaggeration. Sometimes I'm struggling with the same thing for decades. For decades. How do I not get traction on it? So first of all, the good news is my failure to get traction doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not trying, doesn't mean I'm not a failure. It just means this is my Achilles heel. This is my acute struggle in life. This was the very reason that I'm put in this world. By the way, the Arizal says it's also quite possible, to get a little bit more esoteric, that my neshama was in this world many times beforehand and still didn't perfect it. So I'm here again to be able to try to rectify this particular weakness. But again, I will say, but through rectifying the weakness, I discover my greatest strength. So sin no longer becomes an opportunity for despair, for yeush, but instead it becomes an incredible opportunity to discover my greatest life strength. So I'll have to stop over here. We'll pick up in Meretz Hashem with the rest of the Berei Chasidus tomorrow. We'll say again, it gets incredible. We'll see some incredible Gemaras, and we'll continue in this journey in HaTzaddik.